Back again. Vocabulary. Yeah, check it, yeah. Yo, I heard of this underground land, man. Underneath all the streets in the sand, man. So I decided to venture, dare to go to the center of the earth. That's my adventure. I burrowed into the dirt, I dug it up. 20 days later, I was like, what? I was great at digging, I was fast to learn. I dug past the grass and past the worms. My hole was not shallow, it was deep. But what I find in it, that's a mystery. It could have been a Mr. Broccoli and Mrs. Cheese. In my hole, I missed and missed the trees. On day 21, I found the town. All made of rocks, all underground. I was in a huge chamber, a giant room. It was dark with no sun and no moon. I didn't have a lot of baggage, just a suitcase, two brushes and two tubes of toothpaste. Then a little blue dude came out in a tutu. It's too late to run, what would you do? Yo, to the kids who are liking the sound. When you hear it, start shaking it now. When we rock, yeah, we rockin' the town. We get low down underground. To the kids who are liking the sound. When you hear it, start shaking it down. When we rock, yeah, we rockin' the town. We get low down underground. Yo, so this little blue dude said his name was Bloopy. This is weirder than anything in any movie. He said, I'll give you the tour, I'll show you around, show you everything that you can find in our town. We walked past some rocks that were jagged, not soft and smooth, no more like a shark's tooth. The Bloopy showed me where they make their art. There was a guy inside and his name was Bart. Bart would sniff paint in his nose, then walk over to some paper and go 1, 2, 3. Then he would sneeze. I chew on the paper, it was really pretty. Bloopy asked, do you think that's art? I said, well, Bloopy, no, that's not. Bloopy said, we sell each sneeze he does $4 million, cause people love it. I said, well, that's more than I can afford. I don't have enough money, but I'm not poor. Finally, Bloopy took me past these columns, these thin supports for a roof above them. Into the arena, the giant stage, bigger than the stadium where the Giants play. In the middle was a blue dude playing a flute tune, while a giant snake danced the cuckoo. I told Bloopy, this place is cuckoo, kid. He said, no, not to us, we used to it. You wouldn't think everything we do is weird if you just lived here for a couple of years. Yo, to the kids who are liking the sound. When you hear it, start shaking it now. When we rock, yeah, we rockin' the town. We get low down underground. To the kids who are liking the sound. When you hear it, start shaking it now. When we rock, yeah, we rockin' the town. We get low down underground. To the kids who are liking the sound. When you hear it, start shaking it now. When we rock, yeah, we rockin' the town. We get low down underground.
All right, Orange Group, let's take a look at the next half of your words. The first is the word column, which is a noun. And a column has a couple of different meanings. So a column can be a row of numbers or words running down a printed page. So if you look at this picture, it shows two columns. There's words and there's numbers that go down. So it's two columns. For example, I looked from column 1 to column 2, unable to believe how fast the planet was warming. A column can also mean anything arranged in a straight line. So for example, at elementary school graduation, we formed into columns and then marched across the field. So if Miss Ellerbeck and Miss Pimentel want to get fancy, when we're lining up in the hallway, we can say, everyone, please get in a column. The last definition is one you probably know, and it's a tall or somewhat thin support for a building. So for example, the entrance to our school has 4 stone columns that are probably 30 feet high. Our next word is the word jagged. Jagged is an adjective, and it means with a rough or sharp edge. So for example, Parker cut his finger on a jagged piece of glass. Our next word is the word shallow. And shallow means not deep. So for example, Marcy was scared to come into the pool even though the water was so shallow. It would only come up to her knees. So if we look at this picture, it looks like it's at a river. This is a very shallow part of the river. It's not very deep. Kids can walk around in it. It's very shallow. Now our next word, you may say, oh, Miss Pimentel, I know that word. The word tour, though, has two different ways that we can use it, a noun and a verb. So we're going to look at both of those. Our first is a noun, and when we talk about a tour, we can mean a trip from place to place, sometimes to perform music or some kinds of art. So for example, when Beyonce went on a tour in Europe, she made sure to learn a few words in all the different languages. And actually, Ms. Pimentel made a mistake there. I should have said when Beyonce went on tour in Europe, she made sure to learn a few words in all the different languages. So when an artist goes on tour, they're going around and sharing their music or their art. Our next definition is a noun, and a tour can also be a short trip through a place, usually with a guide. So for example, do you want a tour of my house? And tour can also mean to travel through a place. So for example, Lena toured California last year with her photography class. Our last word is a great word, venture. Not adventure, but venture. Our next word, and venture is a fun word that can be used as a verb and a noun. We're going to look at both of those. When we use the word venture as a verb, it means to dare to do or to go somewhere or do something risky. So for example, Claire ventured deep into the jungle. The jungle is risky, so Claire ventured there. She went somewhere risky. If you look at this example, this woman is venturing up a tall tower. It's pretty risky to climb up a tower that tall, so she's venturing up the tower. The second way that we use the word venture is a noun. And that when we use it this way, it means a risk, something you do where you don't know what will happen. So for example, my dad and his friend just started working together on a new business venture in Europe. So in this example, there's a new business venture or a new project, but it's a risky project. They don't know how it's going to happen, so they call, or how it's going to work, so they call it a business venture.